Hi, Keith here. Mark's somewhere in the great state of Michigan, and we are doing this via a Zoom program. But we wanted to kind of get back to you guys. It's been a year, and we're just tired of waiting. So this is a little bit on the low tech side, but we are we're trying to keep this going. So. I decided to do this with a flower, my favorite subject matter. And all right,
is it a red flower?
Yeah, no, shut up. Don't start. No, it's an iris, and kind of looking forward to spring. And I think I kind of painted it during the Mother's Day weekend too. Not that I would give it to my mom. She'll probably get it as a Christmas present about 3 years from now. So it'll be late. Anyway, I'm ready to start. And I've drawn this very dark, you guys, so you can see it, I recommend that, if you're going to trace this, don't overdo it. Don't dig in too deep. Okay. I'm doing it only because I have to, so you guys can see what I'm doing. And, I think the other thing I was going to say is on our website there will be a go by something you can trace. This.
What?
Yeah, you can trace.
You took a picture of that?
Yeah, I already made it. So you guys don't have to yell at me and stuff. Hey, where's the thing? I'm very good at forgetting stuff, but I'm getting better. I'm actually writing crap down.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It might be a stupid question.
Yes.
But so you drew the flower in pencil on the paper. Now you said you did it darker than normal.
Yeah.
But once watercolors go on top of the drawing, can I still erase the drawing, or will it take the paint off as well?
Okay. This is the weirdest. I cannot. This is like the greatest mystery to me. Sometimes it comes out and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know why. I really don't. I've tried to figure this out, tried to find out. And honestly, it's a crapshoot. Some colors, it'll come right off, Other colors, it'll just stay, like yellow. I swear to God, don't do pencil and yellow because for some reason, it makes the pencil stick. So, work a little bit lighter. You'll appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and start.
You might get lucky, but don't count on it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I swear I can't figure out why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I've often wondered if it's the type of eraser too, that could be an issue. I was thinking like good old fashioned kind of rubber erasers I think work a little better. Tell you what, at the end of this video, we'll give it a try, see what happens. But I'm pretty sure those those white, real hard plastic erasers don't work very good. I think you have to have a little bit of texture to the eraser. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the stems. And basically, the stems are a little bit darker than these, the buds. As they come up to the buds, they become more of a yellow-green, okay, a lighter color. So what I'm going to do, maybe I'll start with the kind of the top of the buds. And I'm going to use a May green or a permanent green light, as you can see on my camera or on my tray, which is actually showing up. Yay. All right. So this is funny.
It's like 8.5 by 11.
Yes. Also, if you noticed, I thank you for bringing that up. You'll notice that I've moved it to the left a little bit, right? We don't want a picture of a flower just dead center in the middle of your picture. It's just not good composition. So you kind of want to pull it to one side, And then what I am going to do is I'll create a little color swoosh behind it, and that'll give it, it'll give it a little more fill in the page a little bit more. The other thing is, this is maybe a nice composition that you can, say, love you, whatever, little tech, little calligraphy, which I don't do, but it would be kind of a nice thing to do. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start painting. So here's one of the things I'm going to say about this is these are not very big items, not very big pictures, okay? So I'm not wetting it, okay? I'm just painting. I get enough paint on my tray that I can fill my brush and start just pulling the color down and filling it in. So when it's this dark, I almost think of it as a coloring book. The lines, rather. Okay, so as you can see, I'm kind of coming up in here.
You said that was May green. That's just a straight green out of the
out of the Schminke, it's called May green. It's very similar to permanent green light. Okay, it's just this is their, I would say, pretty close to that color. And as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm going in, just kind of painting everything up with the lighter green. There's also a little bit of yellow in these too, so I'm gonna leave a little room for yellow too in these buds, top of these buds and stuff. So I'm leaving I'm gonna leave some of this open, and now I'm gonna come back in real quick with I would say kind of a chrome yellow. If you use too pale a yellow, it ain't gonna show up anyway. So I kind of like to get a little heavier yellow in there, or a little deeper, richer color. Let's put it that way. And I think it'll help you guys see it a little bit better too. Like I said, this is, we're using the stuff off my desk instead of all the wonderful equipment that Mark has. Curse you, coronavirus. So
yeah,
we're getting there.
Almost.
We'll be laughing in a year. Remember when all the zombies didn't rise? That'll be good. All right. So I got a little yellow on there, a little bit of the May green. And at this point, what I want to do is I'll let that dry. In the meantime, while that's drying, since I've got room to kind of work around, you know what? I'm going to add just a little more yellow down here too. There we go. This. A little in there. All right, excellent. All right. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up my violet. Now, I am using, I don't know, can you see that? Oh, good. I am using a, what is that? Ultramarine violet, okay? So this is pretty blue. And what I want to do is I want to back it up a little bit because the particular version I picked has a little more red to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a tiny bit of magenta. See how it kind of, can you see it? Mark, verify.
Yeah. Well, I can see you mixing it. I can't see what you're basing it from though.
Yeah, yeah, and it's out of my head. Shh. Don't tell them that. All right, I have there. So it actually, I think it was more of a 50-50 combo. I'm going to be honest with you. Mine's a little bit redder than it's showing on my screen. So, so think of it as a kind of more of a reddish purple than a bluish purple. And I'm just going to go in and start kind of hitting some of the dark spots here while I'm waiting on my stems to dry. And as you can see, again, I'm not, I'm not wetting it. Oh, look, a little bleed. Sometimes that turns out pretty good. You have a, oh, thank God. We have entertainment today, right?
Yeah. Another question for you. Because you
Yeah.
drew the pencil lines so heavy, which means traditionally you pushed down the paper, so I'm sure you've got little grooves where the lead was pushing
Yeah.
in. Does that
Yes.
create channels to keep the paint from spreading more than it normally would?
Not as you can see right here. If the water
Yeah.
gets in, if it can create a crack, and the water fills in and stops, yes, it will create a barrier. But if there's a little too much water, it's just going to bleed. So I'm going to say no.
Okay.
However, what I do, I do use them sometimes, though, because what'll happen is a line drawing. Sometimes what'll happen is the ink or the color, the paint will fall into those and actually be a little bit darker because they've fallen into this little groove, And I do use that on occasion for a lot of time for fur and you'll see I'm going to be breaking up some of these branches a little bit, these stems, so that there's going to be a little bit of a break. And yes, I do use the pencil to kind of create a I don't know, a path. How's that? Path. All right.
Okay.
So see how pretty. I can draw flowers if people would pay me. Of late.
Why is it always about money with you?
Yeah. Artist, hello. Of late, I've been drawing.
You're supposed to be starving.
Paint. Yeah, I got a ways to go on that. Might not have power, but I'll have food. All right, here we go. Where am I? Oh, I see. I missed something when I was drawing. I got to fill it in. All right. What I'm going to do is kind of, oops, make sure I grab the wrong paint. There it is. I got to make sure I have trouble is it's very thin. That's what I'm trying to do now is, oops, kind of make it a little thicker. I got a nice little pool down here. But what I want to do is something a little bit darker. So these lower petals on these branches, the tops of them are very dark. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get them as dark as I can in there. So you can see how this is a little bit lighter because that's the bottom of the leaf when it's curled up like that. But when it opens up, this gets fairly dark. So I'm going to do it. Wow, that's a lot of water in there. Okay. So like on this one then, the inside of this little thing should also be about of the same value. I'm trying to, it kind of folds over so that you see a little more of the bottom there on that one. And then on this one, it's more or less on the top here and not the bottom.
Yeah, it's a little hard to distinguish in the pencil drawing. I'm sure it's going to reveal itself more.
Yeah, it's yes, it will. I don't think I could do it any darker unless I made like a pen and ink, which you can do, You can do these as pen and inks also. and then just color them in with watercolor. That would be very pretty also, if you like doing pen and ink and watercolors. All right, cool. So I'm going back in up here, and I'm going to do the same thing with these lower petals. So there's a dark one there. Okay. Am I still in the picture?
Yeah, for the
Okay,
most part.
good.
Do you know how much everybody loves when you rotate the
Well,
paper?
I'm trying to go slower. As soon as you build me that lazy Susan, it's going to be scary.
Got a couple of them.
Yeah? With the camera attached to the top?
Oh, yeah. I got to work on that. So only your hands will look like they're rotating weirdly on the outside.
I know. I'm looking forward to it, you know? All right. How's he do that? That's amazing. He's like painting from all sides.
And he's running around the table.
Exactly. I can see that. Be kind of cute. All right, I'm just pushing a little more color in when I can while that's drying. We're going to let those dry up. Those are the darkest parts of that flower, okay? You're now, new chair. We're now going to go back to the, what do you call them? Stems? Yeah, we'll call them stems. I'm going to add a little bit of a olive green and my May green, which can also be substituted with, the permanent green light. And I get a prettier green, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making the stem part itself the darkest part. With the with these little buds and stuff will be much lighter. All right. As you can see, not rocket science. Once again, we're just kind of, it's almost like color by number almost. But what I do like to do is I'll pick a side and I'll drop some water on one side and hopefully kind of, give it a roundness by kind of pushing some of the color to one side to create a shadow. Right now, I don't know if you guys can actually see that. And whatever you do, you want to be consistent. So try to keep it on one side all the time. All right. Now this one, I'm just gonna, I think what makes it interesting is these breaks, how they kind of break in these little areas. It just kind of creates to me, a more interesting flower, because I love them. It's actually this weird year of COVID, whatever it's called. Yeah. I painted more weird stuff this year. I've been enjoying painting beetles of late. My son for his Christmas present.
Like the bug or the rock
The rock
band?
band, yeah. Ringo, mostly. No, my son asked for, I said, what do you want for your Christmas painting? He's like, I want bugs. I'm like, what? Shut up. I'm not doing bugs. Well, I started doing these beetles and they turned out great. And I've been kind of fascinated with them ever since. It's the only thing that I can draw bigger than it actually is.
Did he actually get it for the current Christmas, or did it take a year or two?
No, I gave him last year's, and I actually asked him. I said, "Hey, as much as I like beating a present, you know, a concept to death, would you be interested in more bugs? You know?" And he wrote right back, said, "Yeah, definitely." So I have made my son happy, and that is good. All right. So again, what I'm doing now, you can almost, these are almost these little pod things. Some of them are almost transparent. So what you do, like for example, on this one, you can kind of come in, but still kind of light and moist, and just kind of gently have that stem kind of bleeding through there a little bit. Like that. Just like that. All right. So, all right. Thank God I got that haircut last year, right?
Yeah, right before everybody got locked down.
Yep. Or I'd be knee deep in hair, right?
I thought you were growing your own brushes.
Yes, I like that. And they will be for sale. Yep. A new income that I hardly have to work at, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you're only
So-
cutting off, what's the length of a paintbrush? An inch, inch and a half most?
Yeah,
Uh,
I could get quite a few brushes done this year.
yeah.
All right. So at this point, what I am doing now is I'm going to bring this down. Ah! Keep making people throw up. And what I'm doing is these like little buds have fine line. So I'm hoping, can you see that, Mark?
It very subtly, but it's there. I guess
Okay.
what I'm curious on is, so was that a dry brush technique? Like, is there water
Yes.
on that? Okay.
No, there's no water on it. And yeah, I'm drawing it like it's an ink pen, you know, so very dry. And I've got a super fine tip. These are the Teclon brushes that, you know, I've been spouting all these years. I like the Teclon because it has a very stiff bristle. So I'm able to get some very fine line work done. All right. So let's see if this one will show up a little better for you. I might make it a little extra, well, it's hard to say. So see how I just kind of throw them lines around? All right.
Now, is this one of those where you want them to be uniform, or do you want them kind of?
I always want them uniform, more often than not. You know what I mean? And that just comes with a little bit of practice. You know, sit down with a paper and do it. The other thing I like to do too is take some of them and kind of take a little water to them and soften them up so the lines aren't quite so harsh, quite so hard. That way it keeps keeps it having a kind of a watercolor feel to it. Because if you get too liney, too much drawing, then, you know, it starts to look like something else. So again, I'm going to come down this side because I made this my shadow side. I'm just going to give that a little more color to one side. All right. So now to pick up the speed. So I'm pulling up a little more of this color, this reddish color. And I'm going to do the top petals now. These are obviously going to be much lighter. Looks dark in the picture, but I'm going to just kind of add some water to this and even let it kind of bleed out of some of the other sections here that have already been painted. You can kind of see what I did. I attached a little bit of the water down into this dark color just so it'll pull some of that up. And you get a softer, more watercolory feel. Because like I said, the idea isn't to end up with a, you know, Audubon style flower that's super detailed. We want some detail, but we want it to have a little bit of, you know, watercolor freedom to it. Watercolor freedom. I wonder if I could get a sponsor for that.
Oh, you gotta ask them.
Again, watercolor freedom. I'm actually thinking of what was that? Mel Gibson in The Patriot, you know. Mm-hmm. Release the watercolor. So see how it's got like variations of color in it here and there? That just kind of makes it more watercolory. All right, so I'm going to go in here on this is the bottom of that one of the, you know, petals. Yeah, they have words. I have names for these things. Petals. And I'm just going to pull that down a little bit. Slowly turn this. See how I leave a little white line there? Kind of gives it a little edge. All right, and this is the bottom of that other one over on this side. All right. Again, over here, I'm doing the bottom of that very dark petal. And like I said, I like to leave sometimes, not all the time, but I like to leave like that little white edge that helps define a kind of like an edge that it goes over then. All right. Very nice. So I did miss a section here where the, you know, where the stem actually connects to the flower here. So I'm adding that real quick here. Okay. Now, under the flower, It's more of that. I'm going to actually use a tiny bit of, what's that called? Naples yellow. It's got a little bit of opaque to it. As you can see, kind of a very creamy yellow. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of the green. And you don't need a lot. I'm going to get up under these under the actual flower itself. And you don't want it too dark. I might be making it a little darker for you so you can see it better, but you don't want this too dark. So I'm actually lifting a wee bit of it out. The reason is that we are going to be putting some stripes on these. All right. That one got a little dark. Oh, well, not much I can do about it. All right. I mean, there is, but I'm not gonna. All right. Again, I'm just trying to add a.
I can't see what you're doing.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry.
When you
Okay.
zoom in.
Honestly, yeah. All I'm doing is, yeah, I forgot, is making more of the reddish color. See it? There it is. The reddish purple for these tiny little stripes. Actually, I had to take off my glasses for this. There are
Clark Kent.
tiny little stripes, and they don't have to be perfect, you guys, but you know, if you can be consistent, that would be good. And I'm just making these little, I don't know what you call them, stripes. A little bit of stripe here. So the little vein-like things. Colorful vein-like things. I think that's dry. Okay. Under some of these on the bottom of the petals there, you can see them. And also a little bit of it on these tiny stems under here, the little green stems that we just did. I'm just adding a very short little stripes. I think these are pinstripes. I don't know. And then same up here. You just want to bring those to light. All right. And while I'm here, I'm just kind of gently pushing in some more of the vein-like material. Well, the veins of those petals, you know. You want to have some. You don't have to have a ton, but here's what I do. All right. I'm going to take and I'm going to soften some of it. So some of it's going to stay striped and tight. And the other, I'm just going to take a little water and bleeding a little water over top of it just to kind of soften it a little bit so it isn't all, you know, one, you know, like a one, you know, like a stripe, just plain stripes rather. I'm sorry. You been talking much over the year?
Words are hard.
I remember the first couple months we were doing this, man. I would go into the store, you know, with my mask on and everything. Hi, everybody. Just so desperate to talk to anybody. Then a few months later, you're like, you've lost your power. You know, you don't know how to talk to people anymore. The only thing that made me happy was there were a lot of other people doing the exact same thing as me. Just all so desperately happy to be able to talk to anyone. All right. All right. So I'm going to break up another petal. And the way I do it is I'm going to shadow around the one and then pull the color this way a little bit. All right. Okay. And then same again. I'm going to do it again right here. And kind of again up here. I did forget something. I forgot the little yellow thing that goes in these flowers. I gotta see if I can force them in now. But you just keep kind of shadowing around and pulling it around. Ooh, I got it too wet, so I'm not able to do any more striping in this section for a while. Mark's like, how long are you going to be?
We should get you a heating pad to paint on top of.
Oh, God. I think you just invented something. It's kind of weird. Colored pencil people do that. They actually
Heat their paper?
Under their paper, yeah. And then it kind of melts the Prismacolor pencils. Kind of melts them down a little bit, makes them nice and soft and easily malleable. I said malleable. I know, you're impressed. All right. So the other thing I like to do is we want to go in and kind of get some of just fill in the last of these little bits of color here and there. I'm using the Naples to kind of just blend a little bit. But I am pretty close, I think. What I recommend you do, you can do this with me, but you get the chance, get out there, get your own flowers, you know. And first thing I would do is photograph whatever you're doing in case you can't get back to it right away. And there's just, little limp flowers laying there. But yeah, I think it's really good to kind of look at the real thing, gang. All right. So
nobody buys me flowers anymore.
I do for my classes. Figure if I have to do flowers, I'm going to make everybody do flowers. All right. This is what I forgot right here. Now, I'm hoping it's not going to be standing out as nicely as it should, but it's there. It's the little whatever, I'm not actually sure what they are, but I think I got it. And then
could you have Could you have
Go
taken
ahead.
an eraser or scraped off some of the other paint to make the paper whiter there again?
To make the paper what?
Whiter there again, like
Yeah,
you tried to
I
remove
could
some
have,
of the color first.
but I think this is actually, I like this. It's actually kind of bleeding up into the flower. And it's one of those
This looks
happy
fabulous.
watercolor accidents that just kind of look good, you know, according to you, Keith. Um, and then the last thing is I use a little bit of the quinacridone gold and a little of the burnt sienna. I mix them together because there are like just little areas where kind of a little bit of a browner color kind of shows up. And I don't know if it's dead stuff or, you know, that's just the color. But I'm just adding a little bit of it. And I am going to say ta-da. Pretty close anyway. So we're hoping very soon that Mark and I'll be back in his studio with a good camera. Oh, did it just fuzz? Wow.
I mean, it comes in and out if your hand gets in the way, but
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I know what I forgot. What I was going to do is just show you a quick swoop. Okay. So this ain't going to take any time. You want a bigger brush, obviously, and it better be clean. So that's what I'm checking right now. Oh, good for me. Okay. All right. So I like this purple and this lighter green. I'm wondering if kind of maybe a slightly peachy color. Mark?
yes.
He's like,
A peachy
I have no
background with
opinion.
the green and purple. Yeah.
Kind of-
Why not?
Kind of a, yeah, let's give it a try. Kind of a pinky, pastel-y kind of swoosh of color. So what I'm going to do, now I wet my paper, and for God's sake, don't hit your flower. Or try not to, too much. And what I'm doing, I don't want it to be like fill the entire thing with color, right? So I'm not wetting everything. I'm just gonna kind of create a bit of a swoosh of color here. And I'm just kind of getting it moist. All right. All right, let's give it a try. No laughing if this is the wrong color. It's pretty peachy.
GP.
Sorry, hang on.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I had to pick it up and make it go somewhere. But see, I'm kind of just kind of creating a streak rather than trying to, you know, fill in the whole thing. I think filling in the whole thing is kind of boring.
Yeah.
So, ooh. Mark, I surprised myself.
That's good. If you can't do it, who can?
Yeah, you know, I can tell you're just ready to get back to work with me. Because, you know, I have a lot of pictures of dead grass and dead trees that I've been saving up all year for you.
Oh,
And, oh, and old sheds. Because we don't want our collection of old sheds to diminish over time.
so your first painting back has to be a cardinal. That's the requirement to get through the door.
I hate you.
A beautiful
Yeah.
red, vibrant springtime.
Yep. It's not happening. Unless somebody invents a red that works for me. All right. Hey, that's kind of fun. All right. Now, I even like the little bit of bleeding here and there. Not bleeding. What do you call it? Blooms. All right. I think I was going to say, wow, honestly, it looks so much better in real life. But honestly, I think it really does. So now I'm adding a little bit of purple. I want it to give almost the impression that maybe there's something else back there, some more flowers. Okay. Okay. All right. So I just added a little bit there, and I'm going to bring a little out, maybe over here too. Mark, I think I'm about where I want to be. So if you have any parting shots. You there? Ah, he left. Oh my God. Oh, that's funny. Mark?
Yeah, I got
Bumped.
disconnected for some reason.
Yeah, I just asked you a question, you know, and I look up, and there's a thing. Let Mark back in.
Let me in.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just saying I'm about done, Mark. So if you wanna, do you have anything to say or?
Yeah, no, looks great. Don't forget to send me the file so I can put it on the website.
I will.
Anybody that's watching, if you haven't been to the website, go check out rkmcguire.com. Got prints, got links to all the videos, affiliate links for some of the materials that Keith uses. All kinds of good stuff and more coming. We're revamping the store to have even more prints than before. So if you
Yay.
see something you like, you can help support them.
Help support me and get a nice painting at the, hopefully. Anyway, so this is like I said, you'll be able to see the photo, a finished photo of it. So you can see what it actually looks like. I think that's about it, right, Mark?
Yeah, no.
All right, buddy. Thank you for doing this with me. And I will, try to get another one up and running. But we're going to try to get together and start knocking out real videos again pretty quick. Okay.
Nice.
I actually have one that we started last year, and I've gotten a few comments from people. When are you going to do the second half? And that's basically when I have a decent camera again, and when I'm back working with Mark. So that should be pretty soon. I'm confident in our new vaccine. So thanks everybody for, sticking around and waiting. All right. So Mark, I'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
All right. And I am going to say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Mark. Bye, everybody.